is I'm gonna show you also, but we're gonna mark this avatar. One side we're gonna mark out with sort of traditional block pattern lines, and the other side we're gonna mark out with lines derived from the workshop we did last week. So we did a few different examples in there. So then what you need sort of to do first is to draw, you zoom in here, draw a line around the neck, draw a neckline.
Should it just be like straight, or can it be like a design, like a V-neck or something?
Just do it straight for now,
Okay.
and then we do sort of the design applications at a later stage. So right now, just draw a line, and you see we can only create straight lines with this tool. So you need to, and if you press Escape, you get out of the tool. So you draw a line like this, and if you want to adjust it, then it's the tool above, which is called, I guess it's called Adjust, Edit 3D-pen, and then you can move each point. So
can I ask a question?
So try to put it in kind of like a T-shirt neck like this, not too far up on the neck, but just where the stop. Yeah, sure.
It's a bit unrelevant maybe, but how did you put eyelashes on them?
That's the important part.
Yes, you should have the eyelashes there as well. You have eyelashes.
Yeah, how do you do that?
You always have eyelashes. Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. But you don't see them if you see them on the. There's all eyelashes here as well now.
I just feel like they, on the other avatars normally they don't have.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's white and you don't see it.
There's eyelashes, and there is ways of putting on different kinds of makeup as well, if you like to.
I did try to put makeup on her once.
We can look into that. We can look into the eyelashes on Wednesday a bit, because it's kind of connected to what we will be doing then for presenting. So you see here, don't put it too high up on the neck, but more like where the something like this. And then do the same thing around the wrists and the ankles.
How far down the wrist?
Wherever you like. Where you think it's appropriate that try to make it at the same place on both arms, but then exactly where it happens is sort of less important.
Can you copy and paste it so you just draw one?
No, unfortunately you can't. So. It's a bit of a primitive tool in the sense that you can only draw straight lines and you can't copy paste things, and so but you will see that the patterns we get out from it won't be, it will anyhow need some kind of after adjustments Oh, is it my temporary strange phone? Because I have one of these 90s phones this week because something happened with my normal phone. I don't know how to turn off the noise, the sound. Um,
Yeah, our train is a little late, so Luca had, but I'm just trying to find, do you know how to find the stuff?
So when you got these necklaces and then you need to put a line to divide the avatar in the middle here. So just mark the center front and draw a line straight down towards the crotch, and then to the back side of the avatar, like this. And then up to the center back. And watch out where the line goes, because it's, you see, it's easy to get it a bit distorted here. And then I would say put in a line for the waist as well.
Can you come take a look at something?
Just a sec.
Det er ligesom om, når jeg starter i midten og kører straight, så
Stand
der
up
er
the
sådan
hip.
en curve på. Jeg kan godt se, det er som om,
Hip
der
or
er
waist,
den her
sort of
side.
just to divide it somewhere here. You can put it in the waist or hip, it's less important.
It's just when I start there in the middle and like pull it down. It's kind of like a straight.
Yeah, that is a bit tricky, and then you might do several, need to do several points. Because you have to like how you exactly from which
Yeah.
angle you
Yeah.
you look at it. You see also like what's happening here. Sometimes it gets weird shapes.
Yeah. Alright. Cool.
So then we have some sort of baselines drawn here. But still you will see that if I try to use this trace tool or flatten tool now, then I can't select this area because the software will not be able to flatten it out. It's still a 3D. There's nowhere marked for it to flatten it out into 2D. So we need to draw out more lines. So then
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Mine, when I'm trying to do the waist, one side is like this and the other is like this.
that you don't get them even.
Like it does like this. Doesn't want to be straight.
No, it has a bit of its own life. and what you can do then is to use this edit 3D-pen tool, and then you can move the points around or the points.
But
So maybe you need to take it away and do it again with a bit of with a higher number of points on the line.
oh yeah, that's it.
So in order to be able to flatten it out, we need to put in sort of more seams here, and I would suggest that you're on the right hand side of the avatar. We put in sort of classic side seams, and on the left hand side we put in seams connected to what we did last time we met with the draping. So in here, so put in a kind of a side seam for your for a leg, and then this is a bit tricky here. Put in a side seam like that. And I got this and adjust this a bit. It's got a bit odd here. And then it draws kind of a side seam down here. And we draw an arm, so put in a sleeve setting.
it's in here. Yeah, how do you see det? Nu kan ombord. Sådan. Der.
And now when I did like this, now I should be able to, so with a flatten tool, I'm gonna mark the, so it should be here. So now we see if I mark this, and might still, we see it, these two now, you see these two pieces, when they are marked, that if I press enter, they are flattened out to make a front block and a back block. This, and you will also see that they are stitched together here and there. But it seems like the software still doesn't comprehend that this is a piece of pattern or this is a piece of pattern, which is a bit odd. See if it doesn't come together all the way. Here it doesn't connect. It does, and this one does. Here. I'll put in another line here to see if that helps. It does. So you see here now I'm draw out sort of block pattern lines for the front, the back, and then if I click on these different areas now with the flatten tool, here, sometimes it can be tricky to know. So then I mark the full body stocking here like this, and if I press enter, then I get sort of pattern pieces flattened out like this.
Can you show that again?
Yes, I can.
Do you have a line on the inner side?
Pardon?
Do you have a line on the inside of the leg?
Yes, here I put a line here on the inside of the leg,
Yeah.
and one on the outside, and on the sleeve, on the arm, I needed to put one side, one seam or line also on the outside and one on the inside. And then I use this tool, this flatten tool here, and I hover over the mouse until this area gets blue, and I click on it so that it turns yellow. This. And when they all turn yellow, then I just press enter, and then the magic happens.
Can you come help me?
I can. And after you've done that, I suggest that you sort of put your pieces in an order so that you understand kind of how they come together, like this, something. And I'll come with it to you in a second. And if you sewing machine up here, edit sewing. If you mark that and press Shift A, you see that everything is stitched together here already. And of course now we have something super tight here on the body.
Mine is not stitched together.
Pardon?
Mine is not stitched together.
Then you did one piece at a time.
Yes.
Yeah. If you do them at the same time, they will be stitched together. So that's.
Men du havde fået, du kunne godt gøre det tidligere, ikke også? Jo. Ja, there was a problem, and I made a bigger problem. So that's a big
But I couldn't sort of close the this space.
And then double click the last time.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I tried
But
to
maybe
for
I
some
can
reason.
Yeah.
Test it again.
Yeah.
Double click or just use Q to get out of the tool.
Yeah. Okay.
Just det, du gjorde dem lite samtidigt. Du kan du se ut efteråt här. Stäng av spoleringen. Och så gå tillbaka. Antingen gör du om det eller så ser du ut.
Kan man sige,
Ja, det gør jeg.
Så var
Nå,
det
så efter det synes jeg.
Jeg ved sådan, det glider bare sådan lidt af. Det er jo ikke sat på kroppen.
Nej, det sidder sådan lidt.
Nej, det er spørgsmålet.
Men vil jeg bare gå tilbage igen.
Prøv at tænke,
Så det skal være så tight.
det er fordi,
Tight is close.
Men der kan også være anderledes end de andre er.
Det er mega mærkeligt.
Men det kan være, det så det vi skal prøve at høre, men man kan vente med at låse af til klokken 4 eller et eller andet, så man kan nå klokken efter.
Ja.
Det får jeg kommer hjem til at få brug for.
Føler jeg det normalt så aldrig var.
Christen, ved du noget om det er meningen, de ligesom skal sidde stående i?
Vi ser lige så stort ud.
Ja, normalt plejer vi jo at have flere, så
Den er-
vi gør noget andet.
Ja, altså jeg kunne ikke forestille mig, at de tænker, at så flytter vi, så vi flytter ikke computeren her. Hvis jeg kender det lige til rigtigt, så vil jeg sige, det kommer ikke til at ske.
Nej.
Det kommer vi ikke til at flytte tilbage. Men det er en pointe, det er noget, vi skal have fat. Altså,
Ja,
vi
det
skal
var
i hvert fald anhøres på en eller anden
Og
måde.
så,
det kræver lidt mere, eller ja, det kan i hvert fald
så
godt kræve planlægning,
så vi
og det er mange tidspunkter, hvor man kan få lov til
det var
at
meget
få
godt. Ja, det var også det eneste, vi
For vi har jo ikke, eller
Ej, så
ja, jeg ved ikke, her kan man jo komme ind med sit studie.
Ja, det kan man ikke.
Nej, det skal man jo have en nøgle, så hvis man ikke har det, så kan man bare ikke bruge plotteren.
Ja, jeg tror godt, vi havde
Det er lidt
det.
dumt,
Ja, og
sådan noget.
du spørger mig,
Ja,
Rasmus Friis sagde, at han heller ikke har det.
Ja, han er super i.
Men hvad det var vores
Så
shop?
det er sådan lidt, man kan kun være der i skoletiden. Der er
Så den til shoppen.
Ja, og det var også det var vildt godt. Ja, det er da egentlig rigtigt. Hvis det stadig er, men det var fordi Rasmus sagde, at han ikke havde nøgle. Er det mærkeligt?
Ja, nej, fordi det her det er noget specielt noget, vi gør, fordi at alle selvfølgelig bliver underviser her og på assessment. Så vi er ikke vant til at gøre det. Så det er ikke tænkt til at gøre det. Fordi vi plejer ikke at låse til at tage
Men jeg tror, at der har siden en lås på, som vi bare ikke kunne åbne, så vi kunne åbne og være med, fordi vi har nøgle til sjovt.
Okay. Men du
Jeg
har
ved
ikke.
ikke, men det har jeg ikke prøvet. Det er noget fuldstændig rart. Det virker ikke meget specielt.
Men det skal vi jo selvfølgelig have en løsning på. Det er klart.
Ja, det kunne i hvert fald være fedt, hvis der var lidt tid efter skole, fordi det er noget med, hvis vi havde undervisning, og hvis der er undervisning, så er det noget, der skal noget undersøge ordentligt, hvad der skal lide. Ja,
Vi prøver at se, hvad der står med undervisning.
Der er øjne der. Jeg tror, hvis du trykker på den, gør. Nå, det er hende, eller? Er det den her? Det var den her, der alligevel up kind of big.
Men altså, det har de altså ikke altid meget. Fordi jeg har nemlig lavet make-up på dem en gang, og på grund af at se mig øjnene. Det kan være, de sådan prøver at lave mere live.
Okay, altså for den har sagt, at altså hvis man nu går fra skolen,
You get it?
Men er det de der lige noget tyk? Hvad er det på etterne, at det ikke er? Det er godt lidt med. Jeg tror godt, det er farvet. Jeg tror godt, det er farvet. Se, det der har man.
Lave noget arbejde.
Ja, tak.
Men jeg tror, vi fandt ud af, at han tog det. Det var så. Nej, det finder jeg
Det der.
alle de nye der er på højre. Det spiller det først. Ting efter det var. Så det er okay.
Yeah, do one.
Altså, det er også. Ja. Der er så mange andre, der ikke
Det
gør
er
det.
så chic. Crazy.
Then do one around with the mirror and double click at the end.
Ja, og jeg aflyste faktisk sidste uge, fordi jeg fandt noget løst op. Det var ikke sundt. Men jeg tror, det er det.
Okay.
It didn't work for us either. We can only like pick the whole body kind of here and also here, but I can choose space, but nothing on the space.
Did you draw one line at a time?
Det ligner
Or
for lidt dårligt
long?
spil til.
Yeah.
And this line is that one long line? It's like this center back line doesn't work here. I would try to delete this one and do it again.
Okay.
So do one line from here to here, one line from there.
Okay, I did one line just like
Yeah,
all the way.
So it has to stop at this point.
I don't know.
Oh,
Here it seems to work.
yeah, but not the legs. This one is also working.
So then if it doesn't work, take away those lines where it doesn't work out. Okay, now it wants to.
Yeah, just on the other side.
So then,
And I can work with
and just do it on one side of the body as well.
just on one side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do these block pattern lines on one side.
Can we help you?
Hvor du stopper du så linjerne på sådan på linjerne? Nej, det siger jeg.
Ja, på den, altså
Ja, ja.
Det strækker bare ud.
Ja. Nej, min arm er ikke helt. Ej, jeg elsker det.
Så det kan jeg faktisk måde at gøre det på. Skal bare lige tage lidt længere tid.
Ja.
Men den har funktioner.
Men den vil ikke eller hvad?
Ja,
Altså den stiller sådan en stræk på skærmen, den skal på alt.
ja.
Ja.
Ej, jeg synes, det er rigtig vant til det.
Ja, det er det.
Så var lige din kæreste, han fik frilagt den ene, eller hvad? Ja.
kan vi se?
Ja, det kan vi.
Så her er vores skærm.
Det er da fair nok.
Og så har han sådan
Det er jo sådan, det er.
Ja, så jeg har
Så du kan komme træet på.
Ja, vi har prøvet som sagt en t-shirt.
Det ser rigtig godt ud, også fordi han er så lille også.
Ja, og han brugte vores benene fra klummer. Og så har han på her, fordi han har sådan lidt
Yes.
see, I'm not an expert in sort of in how this tool works, and it is a bit primitive. But I think for sketching purposes, I think it's quite interesting. And now you see, when we here I have a half side body stocking, which is then super tight towards the body. We also have a non-stretchy fabric right now, and of course in some materials we could use a pattern this tight, but then we would need to have some sort of lycra material, and if it's like a compression thing, it could even be tighter if you like do like running tights or something. And now if you extracted all the pieces at the same time, they get automatically stitched together. And if I turn on simulation now, you see that it sort of falls off a bit like this. I go back here, and I would say if you, and most of the time we are normally we are making very often we're making symmetrical garments. And then I would say always work on one side of the avatar. Don't mark both if you don't intend to have different kind of seam lines on the different sides. And what we can do then, if we're going to create a kind of something to work out from based on this, is then mark everything, and if you right click on it, you can use this symmetric pattern with sewing. You can also use Control D or
mine says some patterns cannot be symmetricized. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
If you do that and then click, you see it's still not connected here in the middle, so you need to stitch it together manually. And you might now know that you can either do that in the 2D window like this, a 3D window, or in the 2D window. Where we are, right.
Hvad var det, du gjorde, da den sagde, cannot be symmetric?
Du kopierer bare det hele, og så siger du Ctrl-C, og så Ctrl-V.
Okay.
Så var Ctrl-D.
Ja, Control D är double.
Men så er der vel ikke stigning? Okay, sorry. If I have this, and I with Control D, or Control D,
then it gets doubled and flipped, and with symmetry in them.
Okay.
And this Control D is very good because then it keeps the symmetry. So if you change something on the left-hand side, it also changes on the right-hand side afterwards. So now when I simulate, now it doesn't fall off any longer, but we have something super tight here. I would say the easiest way and the fastest way to sort of turn this into something else, or not sort of being body hugging like this, is if you mark all your pieces and just pull in the upper right corner here. Then you just enlarge it. And when you pull there, if you at the same time press down the right hand mouse key, you can type in how many percentages bigger you want it to be. And I know this is a bit abstract, but what you can also do is you can measure, for example, yourself, and then you can measure a garment you wear, and you can just see that if your, I don't know, chest measurement is, I don't know, maybe 90 centimeter, and your shirt is whatever, it could be 115, you can get a calculation there. Just maybe try like 120%, and then it re-simulates, and we have something else to work from here. So it's and you see that, like, if you compare this to the block patterns you'll find down in your sewing lab, it looks a bit different, but I would say that this could very well be used as a good starting point for sketching and creating things. And here, say if I don't want to have a seam at the top sleeve like this, then I would make those two straight and click the two seams and right click and then merge them. And then, of course, normal patterns of garments, they are not just like this. They have a different sort of distance from the body in different parts of the body. So there's just pulling it up in the right-hand corner to just enlarge things. It won't give you an end result, and eventually very much is about different proportions, on different parts of the body. Yeah?
Mine says lines created with the line avatar tool cannot cross. Please try again.
When does it say that?
Whenever I try to make a line. But it didn't before. Yeah.
It's fine. It's the best thing I can do.
To change the scale of it, what I did was I marked all the pattern pieces, and then you get this square around it here, and you can, if you pull in one corner here, and while dragging like this, without lifting my left finger, I press down also the right hand button, and then I get this, if I want to use percentages or width here. You can also adjust it only to make them wider, this, or only longer. So maybe now when I see it, this became a bit long, and maybe I just shorten it a bit. And then you have these checks here to control your grain line. And if you want to change that, say this should be a sort of a traditional cutting pattern, then the grain line here, or the sleeves, should follow, should be straight down here. Then we have this tool here, which is like a little piece of fabric, edit texture. And if you click on that, you see the grain line is being highlighted or lighted up. And you can pull that.
When I do that, it does it with all of them?
Then you have all of them marked, I believe. You mark one pattern piece at a time.
How do you add the fabric into the file?
In here?
Yeah. I have it like downloaded, but it's not working to drag it.
No, for Tron it didn't work to drag it straight from the download folder, but it worked if you first copy it to the desktop and then drag it in.
Okay.
I don't know if that's some sort of security setup or.
What?
So now you know the sort of basics of this tool, and see 10, 30. I'm going to show you another function, and then I think we have a 10-minute break. So if I deleted my pieces, and I just do this as a reference again. I mark all this, and I can also say, like, now we did, something without. In a classic block pattern, you might have a dot here or a seam over the busts. And of course, you can put in more seams, and then you get more shaped patterns. Or you could put in any seams later on, as you wish. But for now, I do this once again, and I'll place my pattern pieces so that I understand where they belong. And I mark all my pieces. Wait, here with a normal tool. I mark all my pieces and just pull them out sort of in the air here. And then I right click on them and choose deactivate so that they doesn't fall to the ground when I simulate. And then comes a funny feature with this. That is, if we place the avatar in a different position, the pattern pieces will look different. And have you been moving the avatars around before? Or?
Not very much.
Not. The shortcut for seeing the rigged skeleton is Shift X. kind of the easiest shortcut to remember because it's like a body, like arms and legs. So if you press Shift X, you see the rigged skeleton like this, and if you see that it has sort of joints and socket bones in there as well. And if I press down here on the shoulder, then I can and like this, you can easily kind of do awkward things with your avatar. So you have to be a bit careful. You can always go back with Control Z. Very useful function is this little figure here, or figurine. If you click that, you will have symmetry. So
Which one was that usually?
this little figurine here on the top right hand, outside the gizmo. It's a little. So if it's blue, then its symmetry is on. If it's, I think it's, I don't. It's always blue. It's. So there's two different ways of moving the rig around. Either this way, that where you press a joint and turn on symmetry if needed. Oh no, I didn't. So here. Or up here you have this IK window appearing, and if you click up here, then you get these green points, and then you can pull the green points, and then the avatar sort of follows in a bit more. So this is, here it's easier to create, or less difficult to create sort of natural movements.
How did you do that again?
It's up here when, after you sort of Shift X, and there's somewhere this window appears.
Oh, yeah.
And if you click on this little button, the green button,
Yeah.
the green, the joints have these green points turned on. So. And And yeah, now I distorted my avatar a bit. Oh wait, I have to go back. This became really awkward. So. You see, like if I lift my arm like this, and I move my leg out like this, and then I go back to the trace. Wait, turn off the rig. Open the flatten tool, and I select all these pieces and I press enter. Then you'll see, if we compare these pieces, this is the back piece of the trousers with the leg out. This was the back piece before. So then we get different pattern shapes.
It's like the same that you did with me the other time, no?
It's kind of what I did with you, but in the but in the computer.
But how did you do that again? Getting the new pieces. How did you get the new pieces on the body?
The first pieces I sort of moved out in the air here and deactivated, and then it's this flatten tool,
Yeah.
and
Then you just
click,
did the same
click,
all-
yeah, click the same pieces and
Right.
click all of them and enter. And here we, if we compare these two sleeves, so sleeve extracts, you see here, these two pieces here, they have a sort of a quite a high sleeve head, like a shirt, tight shirt sleeve or something, while this one has a little bump up here and a little high. So it's very flat. So it gives a much more fabric underneath the arm. And the back piece here, it has a much more fabric. You see, this is the one with the arm lifted up. We have more fabric underneath the arm here, or a higher cut sleeve setting. And for the back leg, and these ones gets a bit awkward, but I would argue that this one with the leg in a forward position, that has a cut more of a sort of 19th century trousers, and this is more of a modern pair of jeans standing up.
How do you remove the skeleton tool?
You press Shift X again.